Alright everyone, we are back. So it has been a long time since I've filmed really anything. Yeah, last stuff that I did was going to Fraser. We had a different tray on it since then. Yeah, I built this one probably first quarter of the year. Still got a fair bit to go. Got the underside boxes to go at the back. We've got a trundle drawer to go in the rear there. So yeah, we've still got a bit to do to that, so that's gonna be something that I do in time to come. But at the moment, we're coil converting this. So we've got patrol front diff, 80 series radius arms. We're going to be flipping them. I've already started bracing this one, and then over here we have a 80 series rear diff. So the reason why I went with this was still retain factory handbrake. Terrible Toyota handbrake, but anyway. So yeah, we're going to retain that, but then we didn't have to change like gearboxes, transfer case, like all that stuff to get a handbrake in it, because these old 75s, they have a very different gearbox and transfer case to the 80s, the 105s. So all them electric handbrake kits, they don't really work on this. You have to make a bunch of brackets to get them to work. So yeah, we're just simplifying it and keeping the Toyota factory handbrake that's probably not going to work, but we'll try and make it work. So we've got Dobinson springs, we've got some Superior remote res shocks, and yeah, we're just going to do a 4-link in the rear and just work it out as we go. I've done a fair few measurements already, made some cardboard templates. So yeah, we're pretty much ready to just rip these diffs out, rip the springs out, and yeah, just start cutting all the materials to make all our brackets. We're going to be bracing the chassis, so it's kind of hard to see. I'll have to get some lights in here, but anyway, we're going to be plating the chassis, so we've got some strengthening happening front and rear. We've got to make a couple of cross members for the panhard rod in the front. We've got to do coil tower and whatever in the rear. So yeah, we've got a fair bit to do, so let's get cracking. Alright, so we've got the wheels off. So now we can see what's actually going on here. So on the 75s, we're leaf spring front and rear. The first gen 79s that have the same front end as this, they're coil front, leaf rear. So yeah, we're going to be ripping these out. These leaf spring brackets that are welded to the chassis from factory, they've got to be cut off to allow room for new brackets, new arms, all that sort of stuff. This shock tower that's going, bump stops, they'll get relocated. The plan is to actually move this diff about 50 mil forward, which allows more tyre clearance. So you can sort of see there that it's not exactly center of the top of the guard there, which obviously when the wheels come up, they'll move forward because of how this works. So rotates on that end and then comes forward or backwards depending on articulation. Leaf springs have nearly none anyway, but yeah, anyway, so yeah, new diff in the front is going to be a patrol coil sprung diff, and then 80 series diff in the rear. Sorry for the overexposure on the lighting, but it just gets into here a little bit lighter. So we're going to be bracing all along here with flat plate, and then our coil towers are going to come off the chassis here, and then shock tower at the back. So it'll look pretty much the same as a Patrol coil tower looks. It'll just be made out of flat plates, and then I'll cut and do what I need to with it. So yeah, that's the plan for the front. If we come under here, so we are getting rid of this cross member here. Well, not getting rid of it, it actually needs to be moved backwards a little bit, and we are putting another one in for the coil tower in the rear. On that diff there, you can see we've done some bracing on the top, and that pretty much sits around about here, and then we're going to have a triangulated 4-link in the rear. So we're going to have an arm and an arm going that way, and then underneath the diff here we'll have a arm coming forward, same that side, and we are going to box in that a little bit, and then the top arms can actually come to around about here, I'm guessing, from measurements, and then our bottom arms will go to the bottom of the chassis rail. I'm going to try and make them so we can still lift the car fairly easily on a hoist. A lot of kits these days, it makes it very hard to lift the cars on a hoist with all the long arms in the way. So yeah, we're going to try our very best to keep things simple for that sort of thing as well. What else have we got? So the handbrake, it's pretty much the same along here as the 80 series. So yeah, we've got the 80 series handbrake cable here. So yeah, it just goes into the same sort of spot, comes around, and yeah, we'll come forward. That is the proportioning valve for the rear. So that just distributes brakes from front and rear being a little bit different pressures. So we'll end up using the 75 series one, and then yeah, we'll just be able to retain the brakes system in the rear being the 75, so it keeps things specific to this vehicle still for ordering parts in the future, like replacement parts, maintenance, all that sort of stuff. So yeah, that's about all we're going to be doing in the rear. Obviously we're going to brace the chassis along here. So yeah, the new diff is actually going to come back about 80 to 100 mil. So obviously we're going to be careful of fuel tank and all that. We've still got plenty of room there, but yeah, we've just got to see where it looks right. But yeah, we want to come back a little bit, which allows for this toolbox, and then we'll make the one in the rear to suit. But yeah, it's just looks a little bit more in proportion. The 75s actually kind of look a little bit skinny, in my opinion. So yeah, that's what we're doing in the rear. Tail shafts, they're going to be pretty simple. I've got a spacer to go on this end on the new diff, and then we'll do the same thing in the front on the 80 series, sorry, on the Patrol diff. And so this is actually GQ diff, and the bolt pattern is like exactly the same as the 80 series diff on the pinion. So I'll still be able to use the same bolts. I think the holes are actually the same thickness as well. They might be a little bit bigger, maybe a little bit bigger, but yeah, we can sort that out pretty easy. So yeah, tail shafts are going to be pretty well sorted. This one's just, yeah, they're pretty much just going to have space. So yeah, let's get these diffs out and get the new ones hanging under. and we'll make some more measurements and start cutting out brackets. This is actually kind of difficult to film some of this stuff because I've only got two hands and sort of need it to do a lot of undoing these bolts and clips and stuff. But so we've got the handbrake cables off, got the proportioning valve arm off. So pretty much what I'm going to do is just loosen off these shackle pin whatever they're called, bolts and nuts, and then undo the top shock bolts, and then I'll put the wheels back on, and yeah, we'll just like lower the car down off the hoist, well not completely off, but and then yeah, we'll just be able to roll the diff out once we lift the car back up. So yeah, we'll do that front and rear, and then yeah, we can get the 80 diff in the rear and the patrol diff in the front, start making some measurements of angles, like pinion angles, all that sort of stuff, and then the cardboard templates that I've already started making, we'll be able to do like the final check of them being correct with slight adjustments of angles, and then yeah, we'll just start cutting things and go from there. So yeah, we're getting into this pretty quick. Only been at undoing stuff for like I guess 20 minutes. Some of these clips in the handbrake pins were a little bit tight, but yeah, we're smashing it. Right, so we've got both diffs out. So now we're going to drag the 80 diff over, set it up in place, probably just leave it on these pallets just so it's easy to drag without damaging too much. So yeah, I'll drag it over, sit it under, and yeah, start squaring it up, do all the measurements, we'll start cutting some brackets. Alrighty, so I've done a heap of measurements, got the diff where I want it to be, so we could only go around about 70 mil back, so yeah, it's still going to be plenty. I've measured it to be pretty much at the height it should be at, so I'm going to start making the arms, and then I'll make the cross members to go in the center, and then we can start doing the coil tower, and then I think I'll need to do a shock hoop as well, but we're just going to see how we go. So I'm going to make the arms up and get them roughly in place, start making brackets for them, and then the diff is mounted in its, I guess, final position. So yeah, that's what I'm about to start to do. Alright, so I've pretty much just tacked these arms together. So those are actually patrol bushings, and I've just cut them off original patrol like rear arms. So then I've just welded this pipe onto them, and then I will actually put like a bit of flat bar along there, and that will strengthen that up as well. So I've got both bottom arms in, so I'm going to set the pinion angle now, and then I'll start making up the top arms, so then I'll have lengths as well, and then I'll have to start making brackets for the top of the diff there, and chassis as well. So yeah, I'll get to that next. Righto, so I have pretty much just lined up the pinion angle to be 3 degrees difference. This is usually something that gets done with engine conversions and whatever as well. Yeah, we pretty much set the pinion angle to 3 to 7 degrees difference. I've set it at 3. I've also put together these brackets. So yeah, chassis rail there has just been cleaned up, so I've just got to put a little bit of primer on there, and then I'll tack them on. I've put the tail shaft spacer in there to check lengths. I am going to have to get another one, but yeah, that's it's pretty good. So I just want a little bit more on the actual yoke. So I'll tack these on, and then I'm going to get started on the top brackets and the top arms. Alright, so I've made up these 2 brackets, also cut and just tacked together these top arms as well. So these 2 here are going on the top of the diff, and yeah, so pretty much now I just need to measure up for the triangulation part of the forelink. So I'm going with 45 degrees total. Yeah, see how it goes. So this is actually the first coil conversion and the first forelink I've done in a 4-wheel drive. So yeah, it's a bit of trial and error for me, but yeah, I'm just gonna wing it to a degree and just see how we go. Alright, so we've jumped forward a little bit. Pretty much the brackets are all welded in, and we are testing the articulation and everything, so making sure everything moves where it's supposed to, and it's doing exactly what I wanted it to, I guess. So this isn't quite maxed out, it's still sitting on bits of like the loose rubber here. So yeah, like that's how it's pretty much sitting at the moment. It can still go up a little bit higher on here as well, but obviously we're gonna have wheels on there as well. So yeah, that's how this is going. So all these brackets need to be cut down in bits and pieces, tidied up, and yeah, fully welded in. And then I've got to start bracing a few things as well. So so yeah, I'm gonna get cracking on that. It's pretty hard to film a lot of the stuff, so yeah, I'm just going to stop and start on different stuff, show you where I'm at. Alright, so we've got a bit more of an update again. So the diff is back down where it's supposed to be. This isn't ride height, this is just sitting in place, and that's going to be the springs pretty much fully extended. So once they compress, obviously it's going to come down, but we've added in another cross member, just got to weld that in. And then this is our coil tower bucket, brace, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, we'll house those coils up inside there, and then we'll put retainers on the diffs as well. So I've actually had to move these in, I think it was 60 mil. So that pretty much just gets it on the inside of the chassis rail, because it was just pretty much the edge of the coil spring was on the bottom of the chassis rail, or in line with the bottom of the chassis rail each side. So yeah, just had to cut and change a couple of things like that. I'll probably have to do the same thing with the shocks. We'll probably run the shock mount off the front cross member there. We'll just see how we go, but yeah, that's where we're up to. So I'm going to tack this in place and then start making up the top plate, and we'll house the coils in there. Okay, so we've got this plate cut out. So pretty much what I'm just needing to do is make a couple of little notches this side and that side on this edge here, because there's just a little bit of a lip there. Obviously once that sits down a fair bit further, we can see where the coil is actually going to be sitting. So I'll have to make a little bit of a tab. I don't know where you can see it there, but just on the finish of the leaf spring up there, sorry, the coil spring. And then yeah, we'll just make retainers to go in the bottoms, and then they'll just get a bolt through the bracket there. So tomorrow I'm going to finish off this, and then we'll fully weld and, you know, tidy up any of the brackets, any of that sort of stuff. Got to put the fuel tank back in. All this has to be braced as well, and then up on those brackets up there, can't quite see them because of the lighting, but yeah, so I'll have to box in the cross member up there, and yeah, that'll support everything. So yeah, then once all that's done, obviously these mounts have to be cut off, both front and rear. Yeah, that's pretty much it for the rear. So once I've done that, I've got all the brakes and bearings and all that sort of stuff for both diffs. So I can pretty much rebuild this one. I've already done seals in this one and bearings, so yeah, it's just brakes to go on this now. And then the front one, it needs to be completely stripped down and rebuilt as well. I won't be putting a locker in the rear one yet, but probably about a month's time, I'll be putting either an air or an electric locker in the front diff. And then the next thing will be, like straight after this, we'll be getting the exhaust changed because it just hangs too low below the chassis rail, and it's going to get knocked off. So yeah, I'll make a new one from scratch and probably send it up either side in here somewhere. So yeah, that'll be the next quick little job for it. But yeah, I'm gonna finish it off here, and I'll see you tomorrow.